5 ways Doctor Who could end. Want to put it out there straight away. I don't want the show to be cancelled. This isn't me saying I hope it gets cancelled. I hope it never ever gets cancelled ever again in my lifetime. I just thought it'd be a fun little video to explore. So, 5 reasons. Let's start off with number 5. This one's a little bit cheating because it's kind of already happened, but I liked it. So, the Doctor retires. Yeah, this is hinting at the end of The Giggle when the 14th Doctor, David Tennant, basically retires because he needs to rest. And I think, let's say the 27th Doctor is still going. He's not had a rest between 15 and 27, and this happens again. It's a way that would make sense because you'd be ending the show not abruptly, because there'd be a good reason for it. The fans would understand, yeah, the Doctor does need a rest, and because it's now happened, you can use that as another reason far into the future because it works. Now, the only reason the 15th Doctor is how he is because the 14th Doctor rests. But if you say, the main Doctor, I'm resting now, that is it, that doesn't exactly mean you're cancelling the show. It could mean a reason to put it on hiatus, but it's a way to end it either potentially forever or for a while, and it kind of makes sense narratively because the Doctor's always rushing around, and we've seen in the past how much the Doctor gets affected and how it changes his personality when he never stops running, and it kind of can mess him up. So it makes sense. But number 4 is, well, the show is cancelled. That's a bit of a cheating sort of answer, I guess. Doctor Who can't be cancelled, surely, apart from in the 80s when it was doing very, very well, but people didn't appreciate Doctor Who for what it was back then. I've always thought it's very, very special for a show to end and then come back in 2005, technically come back in with Ncuti Gatwa, even though it wasn't really a reboot hiatus because it was literally about a year or two, but still, they're calling it's Series 2 coming up, so we just got to roll with that. Normally when shows get cancelled, it's because they've done all they can with the story, all of that stuff. But as I said, with this show, it's always new. It's always it's technically a soft reboot every, 3 seasons, more or less. So the idea of the show being cancelled probably, I'd say nowadays is quite unlikely because you've picked up so many fans from Classic Who which are still going into New Who, whilst picking up New Who fans, whilst picking up Disney fans worldwide. Yes, absolutely. I do think it will not be cancelled, but it is a way that the show could end. The 3rd one is a much more of an interesting one. The Doctor gets stuck as a human and can't go back. It's a cool idea, it's a cool concept. Maybe the Doctor somehow goes back into John Smith. He can't go back, so he has to live out his life as a Doctor. This has been seen multiple times, mainly in Human Nature and the Family of Blood, where the Doctor is a human, and we see him living a life if he did stay as a human. So there's always a chance one day that, again, this is if Doctor Who needs to be ended, if the BBC have told them or whatever, whoever owns Doctor Who by then says the show's coming to an end, make it good. That's one way that it could potentially work. Yet again, because it's been done before, it would make sense to Doctor Who fans. But the second, number 2, is an open-ended regeneration. This is probably more aimed at when we don't know if Doctors can continue beyond their current series, and if, to be honest with you, quite ironically, a little bit like Disney, if we don't know if Disney are going to pull the plug on Doctor Who, we won't know for a couple of years, for example. Ncuti is a very, very busy actor. If you have him regenerating, he can either regenerate back into himself if he decides to stay, or you regenerate into the new Doctor. Because obviously you don't want to not film regeneration and then Ncuti can't come back to film his ending, so it's just going to look very, very messy and look terrible. And it'd be pretty obvious of what the current circumstances were for the reason he left the show. And number 1, the most obvious one on the list, I know it's generic, it's boring, but the Doctor just dies. This has been done before, obviously, in Turn Left, the 3-parter, and I guess the Doctor could die in several ways, but the thing is, the Doctor Who, they could just make it up. But the Doctor could just generally die. He could run out of regenerations, Daleks could keep continuously shooting him. There are a million reasons why the Doctor could die, being poisoned, for example, but you cannot regenerate. I think that's the big thing. He's run out of regenerations because someone somehow has limited them, something like that. Yeah, what do you think about that? How could Doctor Who end? As I said, I don't want it to end. Never, ever, ever want it to end. So, let me know your thoughts. If you're new to the channel and you'd like to subscribe, that would be massively appreciative. And give this video a like, and I'll see you all soon.